Okay. Hello. Hello, hello. Future perfect. This is pretty difficult, but if you learn this tense, your coworkers or boss or friends, English native speakers will be like, not bad, right? Definitely. Now, you could learn all about the future perfect in another video that's shorter than this one, but why would you do that when they're not going to include you in the video? Here I am today, and this is going to be a class for you. I'm going to ask you lots of questions, and I want you to answer either in the chat or in the comments below or just with your voice, but I want you to learn like a real live class, okay? I do this every week at the same time right now, Thursdays at 2:00 p.m. This is Central Time, okay? So with that being said, let's get started, okay? Today, we are looking at the future perfect again with when to use it and the time words that we'll have and also some quizzes because you have to apply it. After all, that's the important part, okay? The homework. So, are you ready? Let's begin. All right, so first of all, what is kind of confusing for some is that we have, oh, it's not showing up, I don't think. Well, anyways, there, the future tense, the future perfect tense is there are two things, okay? Two completed activities or completed activities that will happen in the future. Give me 1 sec. It seems like we're having technical difficulties. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe you are not having them. I don't know. No, you cannot see them either. Well, let me just fix that here. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Sorry about this. I'm sure I'll have it fixed. So if you're not watching this live, you can just skip ahead in a minute here. Okay, let me fix this. Hey, nope. Okay. These things do happen, of course. That's just part of life. But yeah, let me see. Okay. Okay. So while I'm waiting, do you even know what the perfect tense is? Do you know? Do you know? All right, because that is really important. Basically, there are two things in the future, two activities that will happen in the future, okay? And we use them mostly in one sentence. So let's talk today. Let's see if this is working finally. And it's still not working. That is so super duper strange. I'm sorry about this. I don't know what is up. Okay. Let me see. This is the thing with live activities. So probably if you're not watching this live, you can just boop, skip ahead. Let's see if I get this figured out, eh? Here we go. Let's change this here. Okay. That's so strange. Okay, I'm sorry about this. No, not that. There we go. Yay, it's working now. But it's totally, wait, sorry, this is not correct either. Okay, yes, so I've almost got this working for you guys. I'm sorry. Sometimes this happens, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what it really is, but here, looks like we got it on the right page. Let's see if we can actually get moving. Okay, this is super important today to talk about when. When do we use the future perfect tense? All right. Here we go. So let's see if she shows. Yay, it's working. Okay. Alrighty, sorry about this. So basically, future perfect tense happens when there are two things that are happening in the future. As you can see in this chart, right, we have two things, and it's really important to know that we use the present simple in the second part, okay? We'll talk a little bit about structure, but we talked about that in the past class. So I'm not going to get too much into those details today, okay? Let's see how this goes. Oh, my Lanta, is still not working? Have you ever heard that expression, oh, my Lanta? This is a common expression that we say when we're shocked or surprised that something isn't happening. Okay, things are coming slowly but surely. So let me read this to you. Pay attention to the pronunciation, okay? Used to show an action in the future that will happen before a second action, as I've just been saying. So let's look at this sentence. It's a little confusing, but by the end of this class, it will be fine. So, by the time you arrive, I will have cooked. Not cooked, it's cooked with a T sound at the end there. So, I will have cooked dinner. Okay? So what does this mean here? We know there's two things happening in this sentence, two things in time that will happen. So what is happening first? Remember, the future perfect tense structure is will have plus past participle. Verb number 3, eat, ate, eaten. Okay, so here I will have cooked dinner. That's our first activity. Okay, then our next activity, you arrive. And notice that's present simple tense. Yes, this is complicated grammar, but you will do it. Hello, I've got someone from Bangladesh here in the chat, and that's amazing. What time it is in Bangladesh? I'm pretty sure you should be sleeping. Am I right? Anyways, good. Okay. Now, let's continue. Okay, so let's look at this. Another way you could say this, if you were just using two sentences, right, would be here, like this. Can you see it? Is it coming? Well, I will have to say it for you. Basically, first, I will cook dinner. I will finish cooking dinner. And then you will arrive. Okay, two actions happening in the future. Now, things are still not working. So this is your unlucky class day, guys. I'm going to have to talk to ChatGPT about this. Okay, so another sentence would be, so strange. I'm sorry about this. Apparently on my normal screen, here we go. Now it's fixed. You might have to skip ahead as things are working out here. This has not happened to me before, but it's okay. If I'm talking too fast, just tell me in the chat, okay? So first of all, we will have found our seats by the time the movie starts. Okay, by the time the movie starts, we will have found our seats. Okay, so basically, we have what happens first here. Well, the answer is there. So we will have found, that's our future perfect, right? So that means it's our first activity. We will find our seats, then the movie will start. Okay? Notice we have two different tenses. The second activity, it is in the the simple, the present simple. Okay? That's really important to understand. Here we go. Next reason to use it. This is really high class. If you can do this, if you can use these sentences. Wow. Amazing. Yes, everyone will think your English is so great. Okay, so use to show an expectation. Say that word, expectation, what you think about the future. So use to show an expectation about a completed action by a certain point in the future. So a certain day, a future certain time, a certain year, some specific time, right? So here in this first sentence, right, she expects. That means she thinks, that's her goal, that she will have learned French by next year. Okay, so what's happening first here? What's happening first? We have our future perfect tense in she will have learned French. Okay, so that's happening first. She will finish learning French. What's happening next? This is confusing. If you are not sure, yeah, it's okay because we have two clauses here. So she expects, right? This, she expects that is a separate clause. Our real sentence here is she will have learned French by next year. So what happens? First, right, she finishes learning French. Then next year will come and she's done. She's got French learned. Good luck with that. Okay, so let's check that out here. All right, the next one, he predicts. Predicts is just a high class fancy way to say guesses. This is his future prediction, what he thinks will happen. He predicts that he will have finished writing his book by summer's end. Okay, so will have finished, that's our future perfect tense, so it's our first activity. Our second activity is with the clause by plus a time, so by summer's end. Right now it's July 24th, so summer ends more or less the end of August, September. Not officially, but with the weather, that's how it feels, right? And so let's say September, he will finish writing his book, then the summer will end, okay? So I want you to always guess, what will come first? What will happen next? Because this is sequence. Now, here's something really important. This third way to use the future perfect is in deadlines or goals, okay? A deadline, remember that's a date, something is due, a due date, right? Maybe your teacher says, okay, your project is due on Friday. The deadline to finish it is Friday at 12 a.m., something like that. That's the deadline, the due date, no later. Goals as well, okay? So let's talk about this. For example, we will have finished, not finish it, finished. Say that with me, finished with a T sound, please. We will have finished the project by the end of the week. So I want you to tell me, okay, what happens first? We have two clauses in here. Clause number one, clause means group of words. So clause number one, will have finished the project. Okay, that's number one. Clause number two, by the end of the week. So which one happens first? Is it number one or number two? Okay, write it down in the chat. The first clause or the second clause? Which one is it? All right. If you've been here so far, this should be kind of easy. Remember, our future perfect tense will have plus past participle. That gives us our tense here, right? I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, our first clause, clause number one, we will have finished the project. Project. Be careful with that pronunciation. Project. Can you say that? Project. Ject. Very common mistake. Okay, so project, that's our first action that will happen. Then the second goal in this case, or might be a deadline, but end of the week, so Saturday. In the English calendar, right, the last day of the week is Saturday. The first day of the week is Sunday. I know on some calendars, you will read that Monday is the first day. But on the English calendar, it's actually Sunday. So keep that in mind. The first day of the week is Sunday, okay? So by the end of the week, that means Tuesday, okay? So first, we will finish the project. Then the week will end. Got that? Now, I want you to tell me for this next sentence, what happens first and what will happen second, okay? And now, remember, you can put it in any order. So we have our first clause, by the end of the quarter. What does that mean, quarter? Well, line 4, 25%. So in business, when we talk about quarters, we're talking about every 3 months. There's 3 quarters in a year. So January, February, March, 1 quarter, right? April, May, June, next quarter, July, August, September, next quarter, and November, October, December is your last quarter. Okay, so by the end of the quarter, they will have met their sales targets. Okay, meet the target, meet a deadline, meet the goal. They will have met their sales targets. So what will happen first here? What will happen first? Okay, first clause or second clause? By the end of the quarter is our first clause. They will have met their sales target is the second clause. Which one comes first? Can you restate this sentence just like the orange sentence above? So first, they will meet their sales targets. Then the quarter will end. Yay! Well, that's good news, I guess. All right. Now, future time words, future perfect time words. This is super important and a super good clue to know if you're right or wrong. If you want to use, for example, for plus a duration of time, like for 3 years, in your brain, you should say ding, 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 ding. Oh, that's present perfect, right? So this is super important to know the time words so that you know how to or which tense to use. Okay, got it? Okay, here we go. Let's look here. Our first time expression, maybe obviously you noticed it, it's by plus a specific time. For example, by 8 p.m., by next week, by tomorrow, by September 1st. Okay, notice how we write first there. In American, Canadian English, when we are, at least when we are speaking the dates, we always use the ordinal numbers. So first, second, third, right? My birthday is on January 3rd. I don't say 3 January like British people do. And I don't say, it would be strange to say January 3. Maybe writing it January 3, okay, but saying it 3rd, okay? So that's really important. Keep that in mind. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, September 1st, okay? And by 2026. Notice I did not say 2026. You can. That's great. Go ahead. I love you. But native speakers for American and Canadian English will say 20. We delete the N when there is NT, right? We just say the N sound. We delete the T sound. So 2026. That's the year. Not, you can say 2026, but it's not necessary. Okay. Next, let's go here. Monday. Monday. By Monday. Okay. So, for example, by 8 p.m., I will have completed all of my assignments. Yay! Assignments are like homework things. Okay. So that means first, I will have completed. First, I will finish all of my assignments. I will complete all of my assignments. Then, ding, 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 8 p.m. Okay. So that shows like a finishing time. Okay. The second action. That tells us what our second action is. Okay. Here it is. I will complete all of my assignments. Then it will be 8 p.m. How about this? She will have finished reading a book by tomorrow morning. So what happens first? She will read a book. Then after that, it will be tomorrow morning. Okay? Keep paying attention because we have some quizzes coming up after this, and you are in charge of giving me the correct answer. I know you can do it. All right. Next time word, by the time. We use this phrase all the time. By the time plus another action. So this is super, super important, okay? Subject plus present simple tense. So when we use by the time, we have a whole other clause, but it has to be present simple. Put that in your brain, okay? So by the time the evening comes, by the time I turn 20, that means 20 years old. My birthday, 20 years old. I'm 35 right now, so it is what it is. All right, by the time she arrives, I will have cleaned the entire house. Okay, so what happens first? First, I clean the whole house. Ugh. All right, then she arrives. Okay, so we use by plus some longer action, not a specific time, just some longer action by the time something happens. Something, this word here is occurs. Occurs. Okay, pronounce that correctly. Occurs. Common mistake. All right, let's go. Next one. He will have decorated the Christmas tree by the time the sun sets. So sunset is go down. The sun goes down. Decorated. Decorated. That means put the things on the Christmas tree. tree. I love Christmas. Okay, so what happens first? Well, first, he will finish decorating the Christmas tree. Then the sun will set. Okie dokie. Okay, next, in. In plus a duration of time. So when we have for plus a duration of time, bang, 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 present perfect. Not so with future perfect. This is in plus a duration of time. For example, in 3 years, in 8 weeks, in 20 days, in a decade, that's 10 years, in 1 minute, in 10 seconds. Okay? So these are some examples. In approximately 30 minutes, we will have completed this lesson. Yes, because in approximately 30 minutes, or exactly 30 minutes, I will have to begin a class, okay, my next class. So, yes, 30 minutes from now, this lesson will end. Okay, so this is a little bit different. Okay, this lesson will end, and then it'll be 30 minutes from now. So my time, it's 2:27, so we're talking 2:57. Okay, next sentence. He will have recovered, that means get better, from the surgery. Pronounce that with me. Surgery. Okay, be careful with that noise. So, or that sound. In a few days. So he will be recovering for a few days. Okay, 3 to 5 days. That's a few normally. After that, he will be fine. Yay. All right, let's continue. I hope you're getting this. If you can't, if you're struggling, it's okay. If you're just coming across that now, okay. But now that you're in the chat, let's make sentences. This is not going to be easy, but remember, if you learn the future perfect, nice, that your friends, your native English speaking friends will love you, okay? So, and your grammar teacher will be happy. Okay, and we like happy people. So, first one, I want you to make sentences using the given subject, so in this case, I, and the past participle of the main verb. Okay? So remember that we have, whoops, here we go back here. Okay. We have our verb teach. Remember that our future perfect is will have plus past participle. So in this case, I will have, what's the past participle of teach? Teach, taught, okay, so taught, spelled T-A-U-G-H-T. I'll write it down. Ooh, someone else has already written it down in the chat. Amazing, you're great. You got it correct. That's a difficult one. Good job, Ishal. Okay, now we need a sentence in positive here, okay? Positive, which means like not, having not. Okay, so our beginning is, I will have taught, blah, 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 blah. So let's see. In my case, I will have taught English for 16 years by 2026. Hey, that's crazy. Okay, then let's see, we'll have another one. After today, yes, I will have taught 8 YouTube live classes by the time this class ends. Yeah. So we're just beginning here, guys. I do this every week. I love being able to teach you for free, and this is an easy way for me to have a nice free class for you. Okay? Now, Our next one, we have to do it in negative. So we need to use not or something like that. So what's the past participle of told? Write it in the chat. I just said it. Come on, Megan. Yes. Okay. So if you were listening, the past participle of tell is tell, told, told. Okay. TOLD. Good. Okay. So I need you to make a sentence in that future perfect, but using it being negative. So remember, future perfect will have. So you will have told blah, 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 except this is negative. So we need not. But where do we put the not? That's the question. Okay. Think about it. You will not have told. You will not have. No, you will have not told. You not will have told. Whew, where should it go? And yes, Ishal, you're right. After will. Yay. Okay. And the sentence we have, you will not have told me the right time. Yep. But we also need, for more context, we need another part to it, a time word. So by the time, in, it's difficult. An example would be you won't, okay, instead of will not, you can put it together and say won't. So you won't have told her the news by the time I get there. Let me write this in the chat. You won't have told her the news by the time, that's our time word here, by the time I get there. I think that's what I said. Notice the second part is present simple tense. This isn't easy, okay? It's not easy at all. So that's why it takes practice, and that's why if you want extra help, in the description below, I have made a worksheet for you where there's more quizzes for you to do and more practice, okay? But let's see. We got another question here, another sentence. So future perfect tense, right? He will have, and then what's the past participle of, what's the past participle of sleep? Sleep, slept, slept. Yes, it's not sleeped. That's not a word. It's slept. S-L-E-P-T. Okay, slept. So he will have slept this time though. Look at that. It has to be a question. Okay. So how can we put this in question? He will have slept. Remember with the question, we always change the first two words. So he will he? Will he have slept? Blah, 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 blah. All right. Yes, Ishal, you got that right. There's always a leg in the chat here, but will he have slept? Let's see if you can make a sentence, okay? Will he have slept at all during his 36-hour shift? Yes, if any of you know any doctors, you know that they have to work crazy hours. My husband is a doctor, and yeah, he sometimes has to stay up overnight, which is crazy. Have he will slept late? Oh, that is such a good guess, Ishal. So remember, you put it just, you only switch the first two words. So your sentence would be, will he have slept late? Right? By the time the morning comes, something like that. Okay. Now, if you are watching this now, all right, I want you to write down your answers in the chat. Write down some sentences. If you get them wrong, that's okay. That's good. Means you're learning, okay? That's why you are here, because you don't know everything. But you write your answers, some sentences down in the chat. I will totally fix them for you if they're not correct and explain for you why, okay? Let's continue. All right, the next one here. She plus right. Okay, what's the past participle of right? Right, wrote. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to type it in the chat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is written. Okay, very good, people. Very good. So, W-R-I-T-T-E-N, written. And I've mentioned before that the way to pronounce this, you can say written, and probably you learned written. But real native speakers, at least for American and Canadian English, we say written, written, okay? Written. All right. Oh, I like the sentence you wrote. She will have written an essay already. Okay, nice time word using that. This is a correct sentence, a perfectly correct sentence, right? We use this in context. So in a context when we're talking about, well, we know this is now, all right? She will have written an essay by now. That's actually a common expression we use, by now, okay? Already is the same. She or he will have woken up by now. He will have finished his nap by now. By now. Really good expression. I've never talked about that before, but definitely use it. By plus now. Okay? She will have written her an essay by now. Okay. Good. I might say she will have written 3 books by the time she turns 23. So that means she becomes, happy birthday, age 23. She turns. Okay, that's the expression for that. Also, she will have written her thesis on the communication methods of monkeys by the end of this month. Okay, lots of different options here. All right, these sentences are not easy. So if you are making them, and especially making them in the chat like you, Ashal, you're amazing. Okay, practice makes progress. Not always perfect. Okay, next one, send. So ask yourself, what is the present participle, past participle of send? We have send, sent is the past simple, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The word is sent. Again, sent. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so remember we're doing future perfect. So will have sent. Okay, nice. We will have sent, but we want the sentence to be negative. Okay, with not. So remember to put the not where it needs to go, right? So we've just re-reviewed earlier that it goes in will not. So this is really important, okay? Something really important for you to know that I want to tell you is that many times in English, in our sentences, we have 2 verbs in many tenses, right? Like I am going, or we have am going, or I will eat, or and have, right? She has been. So when we have verb phrases like that, we always put the not after the first word, okay? After the first word. So, will not go, right? Is not eating. Do or do not have, okay? Very important. All right. So keep that in mind. This one, we will not have sent. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I'm glad I just did this lesson for you. Yes, it's you put we will have not, but it's we will not have. This is such a common mistake. Please write it down. So when you have sentences with two verbs like will plus plus have, okay? Will not have, right? If we have two verbs, you put it always after the first verb, okay? Whatever helping verb that is. That's super important. Write it down, memorize it. Even better, speak it, okay? You want to practice your speaking, you have to get everything that you've been told, you have to get it in that part of the brain that is speaking. So say these things out loud. You know, they say the best student is the teacher, which is so true. If you can't teach what you are learning, well, do you really even know it? So teach someone this today. Say it out loud. Okay, let's keep moving. We've got another quiz, easier, I think, coming up soon. Okay, so this next one is pay with a question. Okay, remember question. How do we make questions? Right? If it is a yes no question, easy. We just switch the first two words, right? When there's more than one verb. So will have, right? Will they have, right? They will have, will they have? Okay. And then our past participle of pay. Sorry if I sometimes speak fast, I get excited. Okay. Our past participle of pay is pay, paid, and paid. Not P-A-Y-D, but P-A-I-D. Will they have paid their challan? Okay, I have no idea what challan is. Please tell me. Anyone out there who knows, this is some thing in Bangladesh. All right, please let me know. Interesting. Then I can use it in my daily life too. So, will they have paid blah, blah, blah? For example, will they have paid all their debt by next week? I hope so. Will they have paid the rent in time to keep living at the house? Right? In plus a certain time. In time to keep living at the house. Whew. It's the end of the month. Time to pay rent soon. All right. Now, guys, let's finish with these sentences. All right. Let's do another quiz. This is difficult. This is difficult. It's not making sentence difficult, but this is difficult. So, which perfect tense should I use? So, you have to choose present, future, or past perfect. And when you give me this answer, okay, this is why we take these classes. This is a little longer than a regular class that you could just watch, right? A regular YouTube video, because I want you to answer it, okay? All of my videos on YouTube, my long videos are like this. I want you to figure out the answer for yourself, then I will help you to explain, okay? So here, what should we put? Our main verb is buy, It has to be one form of the present perfect tense. Okay, so, or not the present, of one form of the perfect tense. So present, past, or future. So you look at the time words, right? The time expressions, and decide which tense should it be, okay? If you have the answer in the chat, write it down, okay? See how you do. In the last few weeks, I've been talking all about the perfect tenses, okay? The thing is, my classes are limited. These live classes, I only let you see them for 1 week. After that, they go on to a special course that you need to request to get in, okay? So don't forget to watch this. You have 1 week every week, okay? So by the time the concert starts, the answer is it's future perfect. Okay, so that's I will have bought. I will have bought the tickets. Okay, so by the time the concert starts, I will have bought the tickets. Now, why? Why is this future perfect? You tell me, okay? If you're watching this live, pause, or not, don't pause. If you're watching this not live, think about it, because this isn't a guess. This is real life. You need to know when you are writing or when you are talking, you need to know, what tense do I use? Well, here our time expression is by the time the concert starts. We know by the time is used for both past and future, both past and future perfect tenses. Okay, though this time the concert starts, that's present simple. Okay, so that's our second action here. So with present simple, we use the future perfect. So I will have bought the tickets. So first I will buy the tickets, then the concert will start. Okay. Yes. Good job, Michelle. Once again, you are the best participator. That's not a word. Participant. All right. So next one, already finished. Oof, you got to put a time word in there. Okay, let me read it. Pay attention to pronunciation, but see if you can answer it before I do. So she, blah, 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 her homework when her friends when her friends called her, not called, called, okay, with the D. So she, blah, 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 her homework when her friends called her. What is this? Is it future perfect, past perfect, or present perfect? Okay, what will it be? I'm going to give you a few more seconds here. 5, pause the video if you don't know it yet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, what can it be? Dum da da dum. Are you ready? Mom. She had already finished. Okay, this is past perfect. All right, the past perfect uses had and then past participle. And notice we put the already in the middle. That's where we almost always put our adverbs. There's different types of adverbs, but this is an important way to do it, okay? So she had already finished her homework. Why is this past perfect? Why? There is a reason. It's not a guess. You shouldn't guess. Okay, there's a reason. So we look at the time words here. Our time clause, our time expression, when her friends called her. So when is a very common word used with the past perfect tense, okay? And even more so, we see there that there is a called, which is past simple. So that gives us our ding, 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 because the past perfect, we use it when there are two actions that happen in the past. For the first action, as we learned earlier, right, the first action is in past perfect tense. The second action, which is this, is in past simple. So our first action, she finished her homework, then her friends called her. Past perfect tense. Okay, next one, okay. I blah, 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 my math homework now. Maybe this seems obvious to you. Remember, it's either present perfect or past perfect or future perfect. I'm going to give a quick 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. I have just completed my homework now, okay? Have just. So just, we use this to mean a recent thing that happened, recent past. Now, why is this the present perfect tense, right? Because we use the present perfect tense sometimes to talk about recent past. When we have this word just in here, that means like 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. All right, I have just completed my homework. Yay. Okay, so let's continue because I have to teach a class in 7 minutes. So let's finish this up. By next week, I, blah, 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 reading this book. What's our time expression here? Okay, you use either the past, present, or future perfect tense to fill in the answer. Our time clause is by next week. Okay, if you don't know the answer, pause it before I continue, okay? Because this is a class, I want you to answer, okay? Think about it. So we have I, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to give 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is it? I will have finished. Future perfect. Now, why? Why is this future perfect tense? Okay, if you don't know, pause the video, think about it, and then come back and you'll find out, okay? Because the answer is because by next week, right, that tells us a time in the future, a deadline, right, a goal. And that's what we use to indicate future perfect. We use it for future times. Okay, next one. In a few months, she blah, 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 to play the piano very well. Okay, what is the answer to this? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She will, well, okay, she will have learned. Okay, why? Why is this will have learned? You maybe, great job if you got this right, but why? Okay, why? What's our time word? If you don't know, pause the video. Let's keep going. In a few months. So remember, if we use in plus a duration of time, not in the house or in a box or in summer, no, in plus a duration. So in a few months, okay, a few is 3 to 5. In a few months, she will have learned to play the piano very well. Ooh, I hope it's just a few months. That would be great. So she first learns to play the piano, and then a few months finishes happening. Maybe in 5 months she's done. Okay, next question. I gotta finish quickly. Okay, Ooh, interesting. She blah 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 Russian for 3 years before she moved to Moscow. Any Russians here watching this video? Uh, in English, we say Moscow as the pronunciation because it's spelled like cow. I know for you Russians, you say Moscow, which is good, but in English, you'll hear Moscow. So next time you say, I'm from Moscow, say it as cow. All right, then we'll understand you. Okay, so what is our answer here? She, blah, blah, blah. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Had studied. Interesting, very interesting. We have a period of time for 3 years, which is present perfect. However, we use before plus past simple clause. So when we have before like this, that indicates, that means we use past perfect. Okay, let's see. I got a few more questions here. In a few years, we to a new house. Let me do this as our last question. So, in a few years, dun, da, 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 we will have moved. Why? Because we have two things happening here in the future. In, remember, plus a period of time, in a few years. Okay, so first we move, but then a few years passes. So maybe we will move in 2028. That's in 3 years. And then those 3 years will happen. Okay, that is as much time as I have now. I would go longer and there's more to this, but hey, I have another class to teach now. If you want more practice, you need more practice. So go down, okay? Go down in the description below. You will find a worksheet that you can download and practice and do extra practice and get everything you need to know about the past or future perfect. Okay? Thank you so much. If you made it to here, you're fantastic. I love you so much. I'm just beginning all this, but I've taught for years. So I look forward to seeing you every week. Okay? Congratulations. You getting here means that you really want to do better in English, and I really wish you all the best. Okay? Yes. What is your question, Ishal? Quickly. I got 1 minute. Okay. You might have to ask it in the comments. All right. Or I might answer you in the comments, but I gotta go get on Zoom here. So yes, I'm sorry. I have to go. Write the questions in the comments below, and I will totally answer anything you need to know. Okay. See you later. Bye.